Welcome to the Fourth Step Podcast. On each episode, we interview recovering addicts and learn their story with addiction. Through exploring personal journeys, we get a glimpse of the depths addicts fall to and their path in recovery. We hope you enjoy the episode. So welcome to the Fourth Step Podcast. My name is Kevin. I'm an addict, and with me is my co-host,
Josh, addict.
Nice. And our guest today is...
I'm an addict named Tyler.
Why are you an addict named Tyler and not Tyler an addict?
Honestly, I used to always just say I'm an addict, or I would call myself a knock, and through suggestions and etiquette of people that I've met, it's always good to put addict in front so I could remember my place and what I was. Like, it makes me grateful to be this addict who is Tyler now, because I don't know, it's just how it was explained to me. So I started saying that because I am an addict. First and foremost, I'm an addict, and I want to remember that.
Yeah, I know.
I need to know I'm a fucking addict. You know what I mean? Not
That's cool.
Tyler the addict. I'm an addict known as Tyler.
95% of the time I say I'm a grateful recovering addict. My name's Josh.
Yeah. But
No.
it was just brought to my attention by other members that were like, man, you are an addict first and foremost. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't understand it for the longest time. But like, as I've gone on, do you know how addiction shows up? In so many different ways and forms. Like, fuck, I'm an addict. So I think it's important to remember.
I've heard it before. In fact, I had a sponsee that started doing that years ago, and I asked him, and he said the same thing. He goes, I just try to remember that I'm an addict first.
Yeah.
And as long as I do that, I'm good.
But for me to just sit here and try to spin off my own,
Pontificate?
To pontificate. That's a good word. I literally learned it from other addicts that, you should say it like that.
Yeah.
Because I used to identify as a knock. I still like to say that too. My name
What's a knock? Are you really going to? Yeah.
No, okay. Well, so a knock, okay. For all intents and purposes, like if you look it up in the Urban Dictionary and all that shit, it's just, the guy who's knocking on your door at 3 a.m. But that's not what it is. A knock to me, like when you're a knock, you're the work. You're the guy the hustler's hoping that comes by because you're a consistent customer, but also it's that dude that you want in your house, but you don't really want in your house because he is a knock. I'll steal from anybody.
The guy that buys $20 bags all day.
Yeah, all day long.
Every day.
And then I'll try to barter with you. Like, I got 1985. Like, what I mean? Like,
I'll go collect cans if I have to.
I just
A knock.
Yeah, and a knock is not a good thing to be. There's people who I just do drugs and but when you're a fucking knock, that's your life.
Yeah.
Doing drugs is your life.
Yeah, that's interesting. When I first got clean, I didn't know any better, and I had to introduce myself as a crankster gangster.
That's tight.
For like 6 months. And people are like,
I'm
yeah,
a
stop
gangster
doing that.
gangster. My name is Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, people would say stop doing that, right?
Yeah.
And I had 100 people tell me, and I'm like, well, I don't want to, and I would say I don't want to stop doing that. So now I tell them I'm an addict named Tyler, but I identify as a knock. And then I just give them my brief description of what a knock is. I'm the guy that will, I'll fucking steal your kid's diaper bag.
All right. So,
just because.
Yeah. 4-Step Podcast. So we're going to ask you some questions, and let's just try to keep the last names, or if you do anything like, tell the story.
People keep them out of it.
Yeah. So when you first got clean, what did that look like?
When I first got clean, what did that look like? I don't know.
What was the first introduction to NA for you?
The first introduction to Narcotics Anonymous was in Yuba City when I was younger, but just because I was just going with my dad just around to different. He was in AA in the AA fellowship, so
nice.
He would. But you just meet a lot of people around there. My first introduction to Alcoholics Anonymous and NA was shit. I was a kid, 9 years old, 10 years old. I grew up in these rooms, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
How old are you, Tyler?
Me, I am 40. I'm about to be 40.
You're about to be 40? No fronts then.
I'm literally about to be 40 next month.
Yeah, no fronts, bro. When next month?
Next month, Kevin. I hate to. I'm a Thanksgiving baby.
I tried to ask him this last week. He's like, I don't like birthdays, Josh.
My birthday has always been Happy Thanksgiving. When it's just,
dude, I'm the 23rd.
Yeah, so I'll just whatever. The 25th.
That's the day before Thanksgiving.
The 25th.
This year it lands on Thanksgiving.
The 25th is my birthday.
Yeah, what's the big deal?
Exactly.
So
what's the big deal is because You know, if you know, Kevin, you know, Happy Thanksgiving. No one really remembers your birthday.
Yeah, I do know. Yeah. That's why I don't care about my birthday either.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
we should do something for both of your birthdays
Oh
at the
my
same
God.
time.
And then he said that, and I was like, no.
All right, yeah, forget it. Well, let's go on with this. When Moving was on.
Oh,
your first? When was the first time you got loaded? And what did you use?
Okay, the very first time I ever got loaded, believe it or not,
Not
was
just like a
Pepsi.
sip-
No, I'm
no.
talking Pepsi and Mini Thins. That's like the first mind and mood altering thing I ever had in my life.
What's a
was
mini thin?
It was an over the counter diuretic, and it's like when you drink them with sugar and caffeine, they produce an effect that is crazy. They had I'll look it up right now. They had this package. It was a blue package, and it was like a bright blue
It's
package.
called Mini. No,
Mini Thins, dude.
Jesus. They don't make it anymore.
No,
obviously.
they do not.
Yeah.
Mini Thins. Let's see if it even comes up.
So what is the diuretic created for? Like, what is the purpose of
This was Mini Thins. It was just caffeine pills, dude. Like
Oh, it was a caffeine pill.
Yeah, but it was epinephrine. You know, it's speed.
Oh, it was a
Literal
speed pill.
speed in a bottle you could buy.
Yeah.
over the
Mini
counter.
Thins.
So,
It was a
and
diet-
Same
it
as
was a
the
diet
diet pills.
pills.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay.
like when I was a kid, there was this gas station down the street, BP, and my buddy Sean was like, "Hey, fucking, like, have you ever done these?" And I was like, "I don't even know what the fuck they are." You know. And
How old were you?
I don't know, like probably 11, like
All
9 or
right.
11.
So you got started
But
pretty
I mean,
early.
but no, I mean, I could, as far back as I took sips off of beers and all that shit.
No,
when I was
but
a
I mean,
kid,
like,
but
got
the
loaded.
first time I got loaded was like, whoa, Mini Thins.
How many mini thins did you eat?
I think just 2.
And a can of Pepsi?
Yeah, and fucking we were gacked. We were spadackle wapped, dude, all running around my house. Like,
Spadackle whapped.
you know what I mean? Well, we were gacked. And that was my first introduction to feeling different for sure. And then, you know, shortly after, pot followed, which was peach can weed.
Looking back, when did you realize that you were an addict? At like what age did you become?
I don't have that fucking question. I don't have that answer.
Can you look
to
back
that.
and go, "Oh, I was
I just always,
jonesing"?
no, there was no Jones for it. Like for me, getting loaded was associated with partying. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you go out anywhere, if you're going somewhere, like, you know what I mean? You have to imbibe or partake in these little activities that are going on because they make you feel better. That's how drugs was always introduced to me. Like it was like, this shit makes you feel great. Like the house that I grew up in, like my parents were alcoholics, but they were social people. Like my mom was social as shit. She was quick witted, and my dad was always, you know, a drinker, and he was that guy who fucking told jokes. And so I always looked at getting loaded as like or drunk, or however you want to look at it, as you're having a good time.
I never associated my use to being an addict until I was in recovery, until like I was all the way at like broken bottom, no other options left. And then like really like understood it, like it hit then.
Yeah, and
like
I always had people tell me I was that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, yo, you're a fucking alcoholic, or you're a
this
fucking
is a
addict.
choice.
I always, but I didn't even understand that then. I just knew I would go to these meetings, like when I was told to by probation or whoever, and I'd be like, yeah, whatever. And it was like I went to meet people. It was like, oh, you fucking drink. Oh, you fucking do. Oh, shit. Like, we should smoke a blunt after, you know, like that's what it always was, because it wasn't a problem. Like, you guys got problems, you know what I mean? Like, because I would hear, I always had to do these groups, like, you know, and you're in there with a bunch of kids, and then you got some dude who's telling you about problems, and you're like, I just didn't identify with the problems of adults, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But I became this huge adult child. Like, I still feel like I'm 15. I don't know how you feel, but I feel like I really feel mentally stunted most of the time, right? But like in my mind, it's like if I was to go smoke a blunt or go, it's because I'm going to go hang out and chill and do it. But like, I know
It doesn't end up that way.
No.
Not anymore.
No. Like, we're going to go kick it. We're going to just have a good time this one night. But it becomes an everyday. Like, I know.
So
I'm an
looking back
addict.
now, you
Oh, I know I'm an addict. You know what I mean? I threw everything away to go smoke pot, to go do, and I didn't think it was a big deal. I went through everything away to go do whatever, coke, whatever was on the table at the time, right? Because we're just hanging out, having a good time. We're all feeling good, right? Like,
so you started with Pepsis and Mini Thins, and where'd you end up at the end?
Methamphetamine's a long, terrible romantic relationship with meth.
Yeah.
Like I've done pills, I've done those, but like I like going up, and I like pot. Like that's if and I'm not to differentiate from it, but those are the two main drugs I stayed with. Alcohol, is a dangerous drug for me because if I drink, like I can't have just one shot or when I drink to oblivion, to blackout, and I don't know what I'm doing. So I completely stay away from that shit. Right. Like, so I'm an angry, emotional drunk, mostly just emotional. And then it presents itself as anger. You know what I mean? But like I get in my emotions from drinking.
Yeah.
Like I get sensitive. My jokes were funnier than yours. And now your fuck joke is really funny and I'm hurt. Fuck you.
All right. Let's not do that. Hey, so looking back, like in the very beginning, do you have like an idea of your, like, what feelings were you trying to numb to get loaded? Like, I mean, like a lot of us were abused when we were kids, or
well, I mean, I was abused as a kid, right? But it was more neglect that way. Like
that's abuse.
But I was babysat by the TV. Like I'm a memory TV motherfucker. Like I was babysat by and there was lots of domestic violence. Like, and it was through my, like that I watched. I watched a lot of crazy shit, verbal abuse, physical abuse, all that shit. But like at the time that shit, I can't tell. I just got into therapy, right? And I just told Josh this, like, I was like, I could actually talk about some therapy stuff because I never really have looked at that shit. Nice. I have never, ever looked at that shit. And I'm just, I did some stuff with this therapist and was like, fuck, like, cause like my dad's my hero, right? But like if I'm being honest, where did stealing come from, right? Like, yeah. From the first time I could remember going into a fucking store, it's okay to test the little, they had them tubs of like nuts, fucking yogurt pretzels, M&Ms. They had the
bulk
tubs.
Counter.
The bulk.
You fill up your bag, you weigh it, you put a number on it.
When we went into the store, that was the first stop every time. Like I remember it as a kid, that was always the first stop. Grapes, strawberries, fucking the bulk candy, and it's okay to test it. It's okay to test it, right? And like
so what is that? I'm sorry. What about the like neglect? Do you think that had something to do with you trying to numb your feelings?
I didn't look. So I always liked being able to do what I wanted, so it didn't look like neglect to me, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't know I was really being neglected until later on in life. Like it was okay. Like, like today we pacify the kids with the phones, right? Like I was easily pacified with just put on a movie. Yeah. Tyler will watch the movie.
So like, doing therapy, do you think you look back now and you see any of that? Like,
well, I only did one session. Right now I'm getting a whole new, like I'm a little upset with the whole therapy process right now.
Because it's making you feel?
Well, because they have assessed me the first time, right? And then I was like, okay, like I got emotional with this dude who was doing the assessment, and he was like, okay, next week you're going to come back and see Keith. And I was like, who the fuck's Keith? I was talking to you. Who the fuck's Keith, right? And then I went in and I talked to the dude Keith, and he was like, yeah, man, but great. He's like, we're going to go talk to the team. Like he's going to go talk to the parole board or something, like, right? And then we'll see where we're at. And I was like, cool. And then he called me, said, I'm going to release your information to Dr. Drew. And I was like, who the fuck's Dr. Drew? Like, and now I've been talking with this dude, Drew Mazer, but he can't accept me because, well, he's the therapist. Then that's how he introduced himself. Anyways, he just told me, like my insurance, like he only does Medi-Cal, right? And since I got this job, we can't do therapy. Like, and I'm like, okay, well, the process is just annoying. Everybody needs to get paid for their job, which is fine.
You're just trying to find a safe space and you keep getting bounced around.
Yeah. And I'm just like, and I had a feeling that's what was going to happen after the first time. I was like, yep, but that's
process.
Yeah. Trust it. Yeah, trust that process, Tyler. And I'm trying to. I really am trying to.
Right on. When you first got clean, looking back now after doing a round of steps, you see where your resentments started, or?
Okay, so when I did my first round of steps, though, it was really surface level shit, right? Like,
was there any resentments on that one?
Oh yeah, but I mean,
like
they were.
The
fuck
man,
the police,
yeah.
Fuck the courts, fuck CPS. It was all it was all like they're not founded resentments. Like
But that's a typical
my
newcomer
apartment
resentment.
was profound. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I would love to say it's their fault. You know what I mean? Why I'm bad? They were doing their jobs. You know what I mean? Like, and it sucks to look at that shit and be like, damn, dude, like I really had no fucking idea. I had no idea. And so I have a healthier respect for them now. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they were doing their, like, for instance, by the way, did you know, Josh knows, but I caught a new case, Kevin, in recovery.
How?
Exactly. I sold alcohol to a minor at work. And in doing that, I thought it was a ticket.
Unintentionally.
Yeah, it was an unintentional. I was caught in an ABC sting. And they gave me a ticket, and that's what I thought it was. And then I went to court, and they released me on my own recognizance. And in my brain, I'm like, but I wasn't locked up, because that's what OR means. You're locked up. Like, so like I have this whole Pandora's box of shit opening again. That's triggering some feelings of like, man, like I've painted myself into a corner, like with this fucking ticket. But I was yelling at these cops at first. I was literally telling them, fuck you. Don't you know I'm trying to change my life? Like I was saying all these things that held no merit.
Self-righteous.
That held no fucking merit because of the simple fact. And in the middle of yelling at this guy, I said, I apologize. I just stopped and I said, you know what? I apologize. You're doing your job and I didn't do mine. That's all I had to say. Yeah. Right. And they started talking again, but I was still upset. So I was just like, that didn't mean I want to talk to you. Let's just fucking get the process over. You know what I mean? But I do realize that I am the one at fault.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with you guys. I wasn't doing my job. I was trying to get people out of the store.
So besides resentment against authority, can you remember anything else like family or
my mother for sure.
Courts?
My mother and I was really resentful at death when I was younger. That came up in some step work because
you lost some people.
Well, yeah, I mean to alcoholism and shit, and I really hated alcohol for the longest time because I couldn't understand why my grandma Shirley drank so much. Like, you know what I mean? She just drank, but she drank to the point where like they put her outside into a trailer, and I mean like. I'm sure you've seen movies where people have cancer, brain cancer, and they're like, oh, and she was making those types, like it was scary.
Wow.
It was super scary, dude. And like, you know, it was don't go out to Grandma Shirley's trailer. She's out there drinking. You know what I mean? Like, and so like, I just was really resentful at that type of shit. My mom mostly though, because she just, I learned this also. And so I know this has always been a thing for me, but I've never brought it up, not even in my step work. So, my mom used to tell me, you make me nervous. And sorry.
This is your biological
mother. She used to say that to me a lot. You make me nervous. And so that barred me from being around my mom.
What, do you know what she meant by that?
Yeah, I was not.
Is this like into your addiction, like a little bit older?
No, this is a kid.
Okay.
I was a kid who just did unruly, wild
roughly
shit.
your age was?
Let's say from 3 to 9, dude.
Okay.
Didn't matter. I was not wanted.
Yeah,
You know what I
that'll
mean?
do it.
I was not wanted.
So now we're busting into
some stuff,
some
right?
feelings.
So, yeah, and my dad has always been there, right? He left us with my mom for a while, but like when he did leave us with my mom when I was younger, me and my sister, just a lot of bad shit happened. My dad wasn't there, and a lot of bad shit happened. But my mom, I just made her nervous.
You want to talk about some of that bad shit?
So with my mom, her and my Aunt Lori, and I love my mom. Don't get it construed like I've made some amends with my mom and some stuff. Like I really do love her, but as a kid, you know, my mom liked to socially drink, and she would leave for days on end, and we would stay with my Aunt Michelle or my sister Bree, my cousin Tara, my Uncle Jeff, my aunt, like these.
Tyler, like leaving days on end.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's not social drinking.
Yeah, no, I know it's not now.
Okay,
but I'm saying that's how they drank. Like they would
binge.
Like my mom left for a Halloween party and didn't come back until like November 6th. Like, you know what I mean? They left us with my Aunt Michelle, like, you know what I mean, in her apartments. And, you know, I was molested. I got molested by a fucking by a mentally handicapped individual, an adult.
So,
And like, I don't remember it. I know I've done therapy for it, and I had to do
How old do you know?
like 5, 6.
Okay.
All I remember is coming out of an apartment complex and crying, and my mom's friend JJ Jackson was like, "What the fuck is wrong?" Like, that's all I remember. And being at because my grandpa was a sheriff, you know what I mean? I remember being in his office and him talking to me, but I don't remember what we talked about.
You just shut it off, self-preservation.
Somehow, some way, yeah, right. And like, I know that this shit's going to be coming up in therapy, so like, I'm trying to get comfortable with the idea of going in there and talking about it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like ashamed because this shit happened. Because I'm not.
It's just a fact.
Yeah, it's a fact, and I literally don't remember it. I remember this lady Mary was my therapist, and we would go into this office, and there was a sandbox, and they called it sandbox therapy. And I literally remember just. I was like muffled questions, and me being like blah blah blah. Like, that's how I remember it. Playing with toys in a sandbox.
I was 9 years old.
Yeah,
when that happened to me, and it was a child psychologist.
Yeah,
that molested me.
Jesus.
So I'm just asking these questions because I know from my experience that those are like some deep-rooted feelings that I stuffed and covered with getting loaded.
Well, I could tell you this growing up, like these are the things that like, so growing up, my dad, because there was like, he was really careful about being like, you're a sissy or you're this, because like I struggled with all that shit. I mean, dude, for instance, like, am I fucking gay because this happened to me? Why are men attracted to me? Am I supposed to be attracted to men? All that type of weird shit came up, you know what I mean? And through my life, you know what I mean? Like I've watched every type of porn you could think of, you know what I mean? I've watched midget porn, I've watched trans porn, I watched it all.
Thanks.
Yeah, midget. But you know what I mean? Though I watched everything there is to watch, trying to figure out who the hell is Tyler. Who the hell is Tyler? Where's my place in all this shit? Why? And like, because I don't remember it, dude. But at the same time, it's like, fuck. Like,
all that stuff contributes to you getting loaded then.
Oh, it absolutely
It's
does.
so crazy how I was just talking to somebody last night about how, like, the more work that I do, the more I realize how much more work there is to do. And how deep rooted this shit really is. Like, I'm affected by triggers and get feelings and responses internally to things that I can't even comprehend.
Yeah, and most of the time don't hold any merit in the real world, right? Or what is considered the real world, right? Like
There's
normal society, like fuck. Like for instance, you know, like when an individual, I was at a meeting and I made it really unsafe because somebody made a joke. Somebody made a joke. So they said, "Oh yeah, M4W will be performing at whatever," and somebody said, "Yeah, those guys are lames."
A friend,
He's my friend,
like a friend.
He's my fucking
as a joke. Said it as a joke,
and my response was, "You ain't been where I've been. You're not allowed to say those type of words." But I didn't say that. What I said was, I was like, "Excuse me," and he said, "Those guys are lames." And I said, I said some shit like, "Is that fucking right?" Like in the middle. And I said, "I'll talk to you." No, I said, "I'll talk to you after the fucking meeting."
So you got upset.
Oh yeah. But in the middle of a meeting where it's supposed to be safe. And it was a joke. How the man and Nate, my girl, was like, "Oh, it was a joke." He didn't mean it like, so I made it uncomfortable.
You didn't take it as a joke.
I did not.
and it is a direct result of where Tyler is with Tyler at the time.
Yeah, dude. And
Yeah.
he said, "How about we go outside?" Right. And you know what it means when somebody says, "Let's go." So the first thing I did, and I learned this from this guy right here. We walked outside. I said, "Let's get this out of the way." I said, "Let me give you a hug." Right.
Nice.
Because Josh has told me that. He's like, when someone's pissing you, we'll just go in there and just hug them. He told me to do it with a coworker, dude. And I walked in and looked at the coworker and was like, "Nope." Like, that's exactly what I said it out loud. Nope. Shook my head. And the dude was like, "What's that supposed to mean?" Like, and then we got in an argument at work. But anyways, that's not, like, I gave the dude a hug and I explained to instead, and I had to talk to Josh again about it because I told the dude, I was like, "Look, you ain't been where I've been, so you don't know, blah, blah." Like now I'm degrading the dude kind of, right? Like really, if we're thinking about it, I'm telling him you don't know about this lifestyle and all this shit. So like I'm still trying to impose some fucking weird will on him.
Yeah, and you want to use that claim to fame to
I have no idea why, and it's
Yeah.
just stupid altogether,
Well,
right?
I can tell you, it's ego and false pride.
Yeah. Thank you, Kevin.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I
It's
say
whatever.
that because,
It's
the
true.
places that some of us have to go, we have to,
It's absolutely true.
that keeps us alive.
and I knew it was, but this dude didn't have that coming.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean? He didn't
Yeah.
have it coming, and I
No.
made it real unsafe real quick. So, and Josh told me, he's like, next time, Tyler, if some shit like that happens, just say to somebody, that word you used is triggering, and it brought up feelings in me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
please don't say that again. And if they do, then, fuck them, right? And I don't have to engage with them anymore if I don't want to. But this dude's my friend. I see him all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and I have no idea why I let it bother me so bad, but I did.
Was it squashed?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah. Like, it wasn't his fault.
It's
I'm the one who made this whole, and then I had to apologize to the meeting. You know what I mean? Like, I was
did?
Like, oh, fuck yeah,
Oh,
I did.
good for you.
Immediately. It was not good.
That's awesome.
Everybody was talking, and then they weren't talking. They were like, uh-oh.
yeah.
It's not good. Meetings
I
are supposed to be safe.
You basically were just because I know I track with you because we
Yeah.
talk all the time. I think it was just a redirecting of the internal and external shit that you have going in your personal life.
Yeah.
Like he just became the, oh really?
Yeah.
Target.
Yeah.
Yes,
Let me.
yeah.
I got some shit I'm gonna throw at you real quick.
So fucked up. So
Yeah.
fucked up.
So when you first got clean, looking back, what reservations did you have? Can you remember any?
Absolutely. I want to smoke pot. I say that because that is still a thing that goes on in my brain.
Yeah.
I want to smoke weed. That's what I did with my dad. I mean, weed's never been a problem, but I know weed's a problem. I smoke crank.
Tyler's a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Tyler is the problem, right? Ultimately, Tyler is the problem. And that's a bad way to think. Tyler is a problem, right? I want to escape.
Weed reservation is it? So like you guys are from up here, and this is like huge pot growing
Weed.
country, and
Fucking-
it's weed culture up here.
Weed took me back to crank and heroin and everything else. So many times I can't even count. Eventually, I was like, I can't smoke weed. I would always be able to correlate it back to the beginning of the loop was the first time I took
Right.
it to hit weed again.
If I'm being real, the beginning of the loop is my thinking. The beginning of the loop is
Sure.
always my fucking
Action-wise, though.
exactly. But like I convinced myself that I could go hang out with certain people, even though I know they're not doing well, or I'm just gonna go see if they're doing well. You know,
Or show them how good I'm doing.
yeah, or like what's she doing? You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I remember that.
Most of the chicks I know, like when I first get out of prison, they're all fucked up, and so they either drink, smoke cigarettes, fucking smoke weed, fucking like they're doing something that's fucking that I find that I think is disgusting, and then I find my way into doing disgusting things with them, dude. Because it's what I know, it's what I'm comfortable, it's what I'm familiar with. You know what I mean? And now I have like a huge, like say I went to prison today, dude. I'm so excited that I can get out, and I'm like, well, I have clean people. I can go to NA. I know that for a fact. I know there's going to be somebody in there who's got some time put together and they're clean and what and I'm not saying that's the plan, right? But I'm just like, fuck, like I'm so glad I have found an A.
Right.
For that fact, I have fucked up people in there that I can go hang out with.
What other reservations?
None for that. Like
Just pot?
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
You weren't thinking like, oh, I'm going to go get loaded if this
Fuck, no.
happens.
Okay, and I'm going to be real with you now with where the drugs are. Like, that may have been a thing at first, for real. Like, I'm for some pot, some dope, but like, everything has fentanyl in it.
Yeah, it's scary out there now.
And everything has fentanyl in it. Like, even the weed, dude. Fucking, I read some fucking stupid article about how they busted a pot shop in LA because the carts they were selling fucking were laced with fentanyl. And I'm like, no way, dude. Even pot? Like, there's no...
Nothing safe anymore?
It's just scary, dude. Like,
Yeah, it is.
drugs are scary now because
Did you say the carts?
Yeah, they bought.
What's a cart?
The carts are the vapes, the pens,
cartridges,
like the fucking vapor pens.
Yeah.
Your slang. I'm going to have to
sorry.
read up on your
Cartridges.
slang.
Yeah, well,
Thanks,
whatever.
Josh.
Yeah,
The vape pens of the weed, dude.
Yeah.
were laced with fentanyl.
that's crazy.
And that was in LA. You can look it up, dude. 20 different fucking dispensaries got shut down because of it.
What about reservations with like activities?
As far as
Like illegal activities, violence,
robbery.
robbery.
So like
any-
I can tell you right now. So since being here, so I haven't stolen in like a year since I got to Robinson's. Like when I was at other construction sites and like those jobs in the union, like I stole all kinds of shit. Like that type of shit kept my addiction alive, right? Because I like to take shit. If it's not bolted down, I like to take shit. And like I stole from construction companies. I stole clothes. I stole fucking, like when I first came home, that was my thing. I'd go into fucking stores and I stole like all my first outfits to look good. Like I fucking went into the Walmart and I literally loaded up a shopping cart full. But I haven't done that. Like I have not stolen anything in a year. I have not been in a fight in 2 years since September 9th. I have not put my hands on, well, that's not true. I would love to say that's true. It's not true though.
Do you want to talk about that?
No, we can.
Okay.
We can if you want.
Okay. It's a form of acting out of
Oh yeah,
behaviors.
So that is not true. So the only thing I haven't done is steal in
Okay.
like a year. Because I don't, I got the job at Robinson's, right? And like,
I think it's cool to talk about
yeah,
like
it's all
that
part of it.
you've done some fucked up shit while you're in recovery, but you've managed to stay clean, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, and it's important. That is important because that's going to solve nothing. And I know that. The getting loaded part's not going to solve anything. It's going to fucking make it so much worse. But I'm already making it worse by stupidness, by just not. And this is the reason why I'm going to therapy, why I want to do therapy, because I don't feel NA is the greatest place to. There's stuff for NA and then there's not stuff for NA. That's just my
Exactly.
thoughts
Yeah.
right now.
No, that's absolutely true.
Outside
And,
help.
And the only reason why is because I had my chick say it. I had Josh say it. I've had a lot of people say it over the years that I've been, maybe you should seek some outside help. I'm like, nah, fuck all that. They just want to give you pills. It's where my brain goes, right? And,
Yeah.
they even asked me just right now, are you sure you don't want to try to seek help from a psychiatrist? Not right now. Not at the present moment. No, I don't. I would rather just have a safe place to talk and feel this shit out. You know what I mean?
Even the literature tells us that sometimes we have to seek outside help for
No,
stuff, for
and
things that the steps
and
can't
that
cure.
has been pounded into my head from people like, dude, it's okay. It's okay. And then I talked to another convict who I was really surprised, actually, because he's a convict. And I know I shouldn't like hold him in some high light, but I do. I hold, like, you don't walk on GP yards and be on psych meds. It's just not a thing. And if you are, you're hiding it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not a thing where I've been, dude. It's like,
Yeah, you're a liability.
yeah, it's just not
It's
a
in-
thing,
it's
dude.
ingrained.
So I had a person tell me, hey, man, I go to therapy and I take psych meds. And I was like, whoa. It blew my mind away. And then I was just, and he was like, well, let me ask you a question. He said, do you plan on going back to prison? And I said, no. And he goes, then why wouldn't you take the help that's available?
Fuck yeah.
We're not
See?
in prison anymore. Damon.
Yeah.
We're not in prison no more, Damon. You know what I mean?
So speaking of prison, so what consequences from your past are you living with today? Like you went to prison.
Yeah.
Do we want to double back to
Other stuff.
yeah
The behaviors.
Yeah. Before we
You
move
want to
on.
know about that fight he got into.
Oh,
Well,
no,
I
it's
know-
more than
I
that.
know
He
about
knows
it.
about it.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean,
Yeah. So it's just manifestations currently, you know? We can bypass it if you want.
yeah, I think that's a little more sensitive.
Okay. Yeah.
But I will say this, like, let's put it this way: when I get angry, still, no man, no woman, no child is safe, and that's not okay. Mostly myself. Tyler is a danger to himself at that point, and I don't want to be a danger to myself or anybody else. So I've had a lot of feelings cropping up that way. Because I do have a wife that I love, and I do have a 4-year-old that's watching, and I have a whole ass another one on the way. But I also, like, it's, I'm able to go out into the world, put this mask on, of everything's fucking great. Everything's fine. And then I get home, right? And I'm not the same person that I was when I was outside with you. I take the whole mask off, and there's that wolf, dude, and I'm ready to fucking eat everybody in my household. That's not okay.
Well, that's the safest place to act out.
It's stupid. That is a stupid thing to say. It's not a safe place to act out. That's wrong. It's wrong to act out like that.
Your mentality is that you want to have the look good on the outside,
Yeah,
But-
and I need to get it all in the same spot though. I need to be
Yeah.
at peace.
Yeah, no, that's
And I
definitely
haven't
recovery.
found how to do that at home sometimes.
Well, you're in the right direction. Therapy.
Therapy, yeah, exactly, yeah.
I have not found how to do that at home, except when just when it's me and Peyton, dude. Like normally, I'm pretty content. That little fucking baby makes me so happy. She's so cool, dude. You know what I mean? But even then, sometimes I treat that 4-year-old like she's a grown, like she's Josh, like a big man who's fucking breathing down my neck, and I gotta let a 4-year-old this, and at the same time, right? And I learned this in therapy, right? Because I will do things that are wrong to my wife or to that baby, but I will not apologize. I will not make an amends right then. I will not 10th step it. I won't do shit. And the dude in therapy said, why? He literally looked at me and he goes, why do you protect that? And I said, what? Because I never heard it put to me that way. And he goes, you're protecting that. Why do you protect that? Why can't you just say, I'm sorry? Or why can't you say, hey, that was wrong? He's like, do you even have? And I was like, and I didn't have an answer. I was like, because I was like so perplexed by why do I protect that? And he goes, you're protecting that. You don't even want to talk about it now. And I was just like, fuck. Like, and I've really been thinking about that since he said it. Because that's a weird way to put it, right? But why do I?
You're trying to hold on to it for some reason.
That's what he said, and I still do it now. I just did it yesterday. Like, you know what I mean? I got mad. I said some shit, and I was like, blah, 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 and fucking...
I'll tell you
and
right now.
I knew right then and there I was wrong, and I was like, man, I'm not going to do nothing. Nope.
Tyler, so from my experience, from the years that I was incarcerated, as a juvenile and doing the therapy and also the steps, pride and ego, because we're programmed when we're incarcerated
Yeah.
with a lot of respect. You need to show me respect. And if you don't, you're punked,
Yeah.
right?
I think it's more fear than respect.
Fear is always the base, right?
Yeah.
But on the outside, if you don't respect me and if you treat me like this, then my pride and ego shows up.
Yeah.
And then you
You have out your chest.
Yeah, right. So to make an amends, you need to suck all that back in.
Yeah, and then at that point, I am wrong, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say it's weakness, but I don't want to say it's weakness either because it's not. Because I have made amends with people. I have done that and been like, "Fuck, this is gonna be hard," and I have done that, right? But in the moment when I'm just Tyler being Tyler, and it'll go through my head like, that was fucking wrong. Why did you fucking say that? Tell that person fucking sorry, or tell her right now. And I just nope. And that's not okay, right?
Yeah.
And I do it with the baby the most, dude. I do it with the baby the most. I'm like, no, you just need to mind, right? And you could just see, she's like, what the fuck happened? Like, what just happened? And I'm like, and then I tell myself, well, she's not going to understand the apology anyway. Like, I'll say that too, to myself. And that's not true. I think she would receive it well, but I don't do that. And the dude like chuckled at me. He goes, yeah, you're protecting that. You're just protecting that. We got to figure out how to get you to break those walls down. And I was like, cool.
Nice.
And then I called and he said, your doctor is now Dr. Drew. And I was like, fucking tight. It was good talking to you, Keith. And it made me frustrated with that whole process, dude. And then all the money stuff was coming up with the insurance and all. And it's like, all right, whatever, man. Like,
so what other consequences are you living with?
Well, I could tell you this. The big reason why I really, 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 really don't want to go back to prison is because when I go to prison, I'm not some shot caller. I'm not some fucking dude that's like, I run this yard. I do stupid shit to make sure I'll be all right.
Yeah.
And I'll survive. But I'm not okay with preying on our own people or hurting our own people, right? Like, and sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah.
At the expense of your survival. And I don't want to be a part of that anymore.
What about today? Or is it like consequences that you're still answering for?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that, Kevin?
Yeah. What do you mean by that, Kevin? But I would like to say yes to as far as the. I don't want to be violent, Kevin.
There you go.
I find myself being violent a lot.
Yeah.
Whether it be physically, emotionally, verbally to myself, to others. And I don't want to be that. I don't fucking like it.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
And I keep doing it. You know what I mean? I keep doing it because in my mind somewhere, if I can make you fear me or make you fucking stop, it's going to be all right. But then I have to deal with the, oh my God, what did I do?
That reminds me of
Like, what
the
did I
time
do?
that I came here before we were working together, and we had that conversation about all that stuff. Like, are you done?
Yeah.
The political tattoos that I now have covered up, like all the, like that reminds me of exactly.
And Josh and I talked about that same thing. He goes, would you cover that shit up, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I would not. I wouldn't. So in a sense, no, I'm not done. You know what I mean? I guess.
You're protecting that too, because it's all you know, and it's a safe place.
I did all this fucking stuff for it, and all that stuff was stupid, right? Like now I look at it, it's like, what the fuck? Who the fuck? I don't want my kid to do that. I don't want to. I don't want them to have to go through that or do that shit. But yet I'm not doing anything to change.
Think about the possibilities if it was not there anymore. Like if you worked through it and let it go and surrendered it, how free you could be to recreate yourself in a positive manner.
I feel like it would hurt a lot because I'd get it burned right off me. You know what I mean? Like,
Or just get it covered up.
sure, but I mean, if I was gonna get all these fucking tattoos, I just get them off me, burn them
Well,
off.
yeah. I mean, whatever. However you do it.
Yeah.
But the aftermath of that is
So
like
freeing, dude.
Yeah, it's like doing step work.
And I'll give you that for hearing it, but the way it's like in my mind, and I'm not saying this toward you, I'm saying it towards me. Like, that was weak of you.
To get it removed.
Right? That's
like,
that pride and that ego.
Call it that, right?
Yeah.
But like, it's like you put it all on there. Why are you taking it off? Are you renouncing and denouncing this? Like,
You
Yeah,
changed.
yeah,
fuck,
yeah,
like-
absolutely.
and
changed.
you are, right?
Yes. Fuck
And
yeah.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's
Yeah.
the thing. Nobody can take away from me. Like if I want to stand on something, nobody can take away from me who I am and what I've done. Nothing's going to change that.
You're the moose, dude.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Nothing can change that. Like I have that still. That is still a part of my life. It's part of my journey.
Yeah.
But I choose
Not to be that.
that is not part of my life anymore.
Doesn't define you.
No, and by
No.
having it there, it's like some badge of honor that I put on because I'm like, I put in work. I
Yeah,
did this, I
that
did
is-
that, I did this. Like I earned this, I deserve this.
Look at me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's a syndrome in itself. The hey,
Yeah.
look at me syndrome.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
That's
I
all
know.
outside stuff, and it's not on the inside. Like inside, when I was causing harm,
Yeah.
I was like, this is absolutely wrong, but I'm going to do it anyways because outside, these people think I should, and I need to do what they say.
True.
Yeah, there's some of that. Yeah.
No, there's like I identify with that more than I identify like for acceptance purposes for whatever.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean? Hey, look at me. Also
Survival,
to
too.
keep it guard. Exactly.
Survival.
Fucking
Yeah.
If I do this right now, you won't ask me to do it again. Fucking
Or
Right.
if this doesn't happen, it's going to be worse.
Okay.
Exactly.
So all of that, does it fit in today?
Not even.
No,
a
not
little
in what
bit.
I'm trying to do.
Yeah, get
with
it
my
covered.
life. No.
Yeah, get it covered.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, it's simple. I like to keep things simple. Yeah, that was the conversation that
Did you have
Josh
with
and I
Josh?
had. Yeah, it was like, and it wasn't specifically had to do with all of that because I programmed as well.
Yeah.
you know, and I'm not incarcerated anymore, and I don't ever plan on going back, and I don't do things to take me back there. So I don't need any of that stuff to protect me.
And I'll tell you, him telling me to do it is not the reason I did it.
I know you did it for yourself.
Exactly.
I know why you did it.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And you asked
I
me
don't
that,
remember
you're like,
telling you.
"Hey,
No, you asked me about
yeah,
it.
you
You
told me,
asked me
Kevin.
about it. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, he told you.
Yeah.
He
asked-
fucking told you.
Yeah.
man.
He asked me about it. He said, "Do you ever think about maybe getting it covered up?" And I probably had a very similar feeling or expression as to what you had just
Yeah.
now, you know. But what happened is it changed. Things like I just changed inside something.
Well, I could tell you started doing the work.
Yeah, I did a lot of work, and it just
Well, like, so, see, my mind still goes back to this, right? It's like, well, my shit just says wood pile, right? Which isn't, like, I've never been the dude that's been in prison, right? Like, I've always towed the line of Tyler, you can't be over there talking with those African Americans and those Mexicans and those others, and you're over there hanging out. And it's like, yeah, well, they listen to the music I listen to. They do the same things I do. The only thing I don't do is I don't eat after them. I don't do all that stupid political
I walked
shit.
that same line, bro.
And you know what I mean? But yet, when you walk outside, like you know what I mean? Okay, let me put it this way. So I had tattoos and shit, but when I came outside with my shirt off for the first time and they saw wood pile, it changed the attitude. Like some were all right with it, and others were like, "Oh, you're just another one of them white motherfuckers." It's funny, like it's like, yeah, well, whatever. But you know where I stand.
Yeah. So I mean, look
And
at it
now
today.
now that I'm not in prison, yeah, like why does that fucking even matter? Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But yet I find myself gravitating at NA meetings and NA play to those type of people still, right?
It's because it's relatable.
And it is. It's
But that
where
doesn't
the
mean
comfort
there's-
is. But yet
They're not
for instance,
actively.
the dude we saw speak last night, right? The dude we saw speak last
Yes.
night. I love talking with that dude because,
He gets it.
dude, even though he's all blasted back and all this shit, he's like, man, I ain't fuck all that fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
fuck
Yeah.
you guys.
And
You
he's
guys
a-
just kept doing it. Like,
He's a business owner. He's married. He's like
yeah, and like
changed
so,
lives.
I'm never I'm never the one that's going to go, you need to denounce all that stuff. And because those are your choices and you're going to make them.
yeah.
But in my circle, with the people that I keep around me, they don't do any of that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
And so that's what I try to keep. That's what keeps me safe.
Yeah.
Is that I don't fall back into because it's glamorous, right?
Yeah.
All that stuff is just
I mean,
glamorous.
I'll give you, it is.
Yeah.
It is glamorous. You know what I mean? It really is. Like, for me, like, I probably, like, after this conversation, like, thinking, because I do want more tattoos, right? But, like, I am entrenched and in love with my county. Like I just want my body to be blasted with everything Grass Valley. Like, I swear it sounds so stupid, but like rolling hills.
What?
And,
Yeah, whatever, dude.
but that's the type. No, like not that. Like in my mind, it's like I just want to be this walking portrait of Grass Valley, right? But then you got that wood pile on there, and there's that stigma from Grass Valley that's what this town's about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep your bullshit fucking stuff out of here. You know what I mean? Like whatever that looks like. And I grew up with that too. It's like, well, no, fuck that, dude. Let's embrace that. Let's embrace that, guys. Right? But then.
Yeah.
But then I got, yeah, exactly. I got this huge. When I take my shirt off, people know they're not retarded. I'm like, ooh.
So tell us about one of your biggest fears in early recovery.
My biggest fears are that people just wouldn't like me. You know what I mean? For who I really am.
Sick.
That's
Like if you took all the mask off and let the walls
Yeah,
down, and
you know what I
then
mean?
you're being authentic, and you're afraid people won't like you being.
Hey, you're not really like what you fucking see. You know, and I still struggle with that now.
Dude,
Like,
you're
you know what I mean?
funny as fuck.
Yeah, but that's also okay. So that's also a real
Part
big
of that's a
defense.
mask,
It's
yeah.
a big defense mechanism. And I learned that from my dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, so like at home with my dad, it's you little motherfucker. Like growing up, there was a lot of that. But when we went out into the world, it was, this is my son, blah, 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 blah. Hey, we fucking laugh, we joke, we do that. And as the years progressed, you know what I mean? And I stopped doing stupid shit. Like,
Yeah.
I got to really know my dad, like, on a whole different type of level. And he's my fucking best friend, right? But, like, when I was growing up, like, it was just a lot trying
It was
to be
different at home than it was on the outside.
and like, you know, and I'm realizing now he worked with the best of what he had at the time, but he was angry. He had stuff going on there.
Yeah.
And I've learned things about my family that I didn't know growing up. Cause like I said, I was babysat by the goddamn TV and I didn't really care. I was pacified a lot. I was really pacified a lot with movies and stuff and didn't pay attention to none of the real deeper things that were going on. You know what I mean? Like, I thought we were rich growing up. I did. I thought we were fucking just had buku amounts of money. I don't know why, but I did.
Because you had TV.
Sure. Fucking, I just thought we were rich. You know what I mean? And a lot of the parenting that happened was out of the guilt of what had happened to me. And I don't know if I knew that then, but I definitely know that I got a lot of extra treatment. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Tyler got what he wanted, when he wanted it, how I wanted it, and there was no repercussions for me.
Does any of that feed into the fear of being found out who you are today?
I mean, sure, I want what I want when I want it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I will go above and beyond to get whatever I need. You know what I mean?
Is that something that you want to change?
I don't even know if I've even looked at it, so I can't even give you an answer about that. Like,
You mean like, I only say that because, I have that tendency too, but I'm also married.
Okay, let me put it this way. Like, so I used to get whatever the fuck I wanted.
Can
when
I
was
get
a
some
kid, right?
clarification? I'm not sure. I'm not really sure if I'm tracking on.
So
what is it that you're asking, and what is it that you're responding to?
So my whole life, like I've kind of just been given everything. I've just been given everything because of what, and as I've gotten older, like, you know what I mean? I've had to go out into the world, and one of my behaviors is I want what I want when I want it, right? And I will fucking do whatever I have to do to get whatever the fuck I want. But mostly I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to I just want it to fall into my lap. I want you to give it to me. Well, that is a behavior that I fucking still exhibit today.
And the fear is that you don't want people to see that.
Exactly.
And then they won't like you.
I have to manipulate. And I still do it.
And my question is,
do I want to change that?
Yeah.
I do.
You
I
hesitated.
Do. Well, I do and I don't, right?
Because you don't know what's the solution.
I really want it to kind of be easier, right? So, like, at the end of the day, like, I got this job, right? Hey, look, I got this job, right, with buyers. But the only, like, I've always known somebody who's known somebody who's known somebody, right?
Which is a great asset.
And it is. It's a great asset. But at the same time, like, it's like, hey, I want that. And then I get it. And I'm just like, but I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing over here. So fucking, I gotta chameleonize myself, right? But like, so this job that I went into right now, like, right, the gas station was no big deal, right? But my fear was, okay, if you steal from here, you're gonna get fired, Tyler. So don't steal anymore. Just don't steal. Now here I am at this place, Buyers, and I was like, I just walked it. Toby literally told me, Tyler, go in there and tell him you know me. I said, okay. He goes, and let him know you're an addict. I said, okay. Right? Because I don't know the first fucking thing about installing gutters. And he said, be truthful about all that shit. Everybody actually told me to be truthful about it. Just be truthful. Just be truthful. Just be truthful. Do you have construction experience? I sure do. Right? That's not very truthful, dude. I'm going to tell you why when I say I sure do, because I know how to bring you material. As soon as you say, put those tool bags on and start building shit.
All right, so like,
I don't even want to learn it.
So you don't want people to find out? I'm just trying to get back to the fear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so like I got into the union, right? Fully expecting to just be able to do whatever I wanted, but it's not a thing, dude. Like, you got to build shit in the union, dude. And I don't want to build shit. I don't know how to build shit, but I do want this money you're giving me. That's where my brain was at with the union.
Do you see?
So I found my way into running material, but then when they were like, you need to be an apprentice now, I didn't want to be there anymore. So I left that. Fuck that. I don't care how much money you guys want me to build shit. I don't know how to, and I don't want to learn it. I just do not want to learn it. I don't care for it.
Is that going to be your MO for the rest of your life?
No, it is not.
So you do want to change that?
No, I do. That's why I went into this job, Buyers, right now, even though like I didn't really search for the job. My wife and my fucking other friend I just had an in there, but I did walk into this job and I said, I literally told the guy, Jeff, right? And it was hella scary. He said, what do you know about construction? I said, nothing. He's all, you've never built? Nope. Never built nothing. Never. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. And that dude said, perfect. And this is the first time I've really felt comfortable somewhere. Even Josh was like, oh, this is a good thing. You got a good job. I have been truthful to all the way through and through with these people. And he said, man, it's a good thing. All you're going to be doing right now is cleaning gutters. Cool.
Nice.
And I went and bought these tools that I have no idea what I'm going to, like, I don't know what I'm going to use needle nose pliers for with cleaning gutters or lineman's pliers or duckbill pliers. I have all these pliers and I have a screw gun.
Okay. So other fears?
Other fears as far as what?
Yeah. Well, fear of people getting to know you authentically.
Yeah.
Anything other fears?
There's so many, Kevin.
Tyler getting to know Tyler.
Yeah, there's.
You can tell in the way he's answering the questions.
There's so many, Kevin.
Fear of change.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I mean, that's evident in some of the answers.
I actually like when it's constantly changing, but like when I'm by myself, like if that makes any sense. Like I always want to be by myself, but that's one of my biggest fears is being by myself, I guess. You know what I mean? Because usually when I'm by myself, I've painted myself. It's because of being of consequences, right?
Yeah.
you're by yourself because of these consequences of your actions, right? But like now that I'm out here in the world, like I've like so getting in the relationship with my wife and like getting in these relationships with people and doing all the things. Like at the end of the day, though, I'm like I just want to be by myself, all by myself, just chilling. But that's not a reality, right? Like
It's not a reality, and it's not healthy because you're married.
yeah.
And
I'm gonna get married. But
you're
yes,
gonna get married.
We're getting there.
But the fact is that you're gonna be partners.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna be just you.
Yeah, it is not.
And you can't be selfish.
And I do that. I do pretty well at that.
You can, but it's not healthy.
You do pretty well at being selfish.
Yeah,
or something?
dude, not good.
Yeah,
Not good.
but you realize that that's going to be harmful to the
there's
relationship.
all these things that are coming up in my life that I have, and which is the biggest reason for the outside help. Like I know I'm fearful, and I know I have these things. I just don't want to talk about a lot of the shit anymore. Like
It's
like,
uncomfortable.
So my dad was my guy. He was my guy. Like I have a sponsor, yes. But like to be honest, he don't know everything about me. He just don't. And like I'm not telling you the shit that I've told my dad, and I'm not telling you the things that my dad knows. And I'm just not doing that. But for some reason in my mind, the outside help with like it's like you are bound by law. Like that's for some reason that's okay. And I went in there because I had another member tell it. First thing you do when you go in there is say, what can I and can I not tell you legally? Mm-hmm. You know, what can I say and not say legally? So that way that there's none of that. And they explained to me what I could say and couldn't say, right? And it was, well, all right, well, I'm not doing any of that weird shit. Like, I'm not hurting kids. I'm not hurting the elderly.
Right, yeah.
I'm not doing that. Like, and you know, and if you threaten yourself, you know, they have to fucking report that shit.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, good. Okay. So I know exactly right now, like, well, we're good. We're all the way good, but I could talk to you about what's going on with Tyler. And I know you can't tell anybody.
Right. You see yourself continuing
to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I even though I'm hating the process right now, I am absolutely going to continue.
I commend you, man.
It's important because I need that safe place.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. I did like a full on trauma therapy for my childhood.
Yeah.
It was life changing. And just the fact that that my sponsor and my support group and the literature says to seek outside help for stuff that the steps can't change.
Yeah.
It's life changing. So I urge you to keep going.
Well, I mean, and I'm going to.
That's
right now,
awesome.
Right now, I have to wait for this insurance to clear.
I know that sucks.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they got to get paid, right? And I already knew that was going to be a fucking thing. Like, because I don't have any money right now. I'm like, I don't know what it costs for an hour session, and like,
Right.
Like, I don't know how I'm going to figure all that shit in, but I do know I need somewhere to go to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Like, you know
That's
what I mean?
cool. So that brings up the next question about shame and guilt.
Oh man, I feel that shit every day.
Yeah. I mean,
Every day, and it's mostly from just past things. It's just like I just relive stupid shit that I have no fucking control over, and it's like I feel a lot of shame and guilt with the shit with my dad from hospice, like, and that's present, right? That's some present things, right? And then like I feel a lot of the shame and guilt from like, you know, like just how my sexual preferences have been with like growing up, like thinking that shit. Well, was I gay or was I this or was I that? And why would I? Like I'll think about why did I watch that fucking porn or why did I you fucking weirdo if this chick really knew like the shit that you've watched before, and like I think all that like weird shit in my brain, dude. Like it's all gonna come back and get me. Like, and it's like who fucking cares? It's not present. It's not anything that's present, dude. Like
yeah,
and I have that argument with myself all the time.
All
like,
right.
Like this is not present shit, Tyler. This shit is not anything that's, and then I'll still fucking just be like, oh fuck, like, fuck, when
is it affecting anything besides your shame and guilt? Doesn't matter to your wife?
No, it don't. Like I have made it a point to when I get with women or whoever they are, that like, you know what I mean, like that it's. Like I'm fucking gross. I'm a gross human being. Like, and I hope you're gross too, because we're gonna do some gross stuff. And they're like, yeah, tight. Like, you know what I mean? So that's cool.
When you say gross, like that's just
it's normal.
It's relative. Yeah,
it's normal people shit, right?
I don't
like,
give a crap what
and I know
you're into.
And I know you don't, right? Like, but in my mind, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, well, it's because of this past stuff. And
self-defeating.
Yeah.
When you did your first 4-step, did you go through all of these things?
I did not. I did surface level things with like the violence and the fucking, like I didn't go through any of that shit. No sex shit. No, nothing was on there from sex stuff. Not a fucking thing. It was all just, I feel bad about this and I fucking hate these establishments and I fucking.
Has any of that changed?
Huh?
Like any of the work changed any of that?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I dude, like, so Peyton's foster parents are cops. My daughter, literally, I dropped my fucking daughter off at a cop's house.
Yeah.
And I never thought I would be okay with that type. I'm like, oh, this, and I've had a conversation, met multiple conversations with this man. Like, okay, but like when we first started doing this thing, like they were like, hey, let's go out to ice cream, right? And I was like, I ain't going out to ice cream with no goddamn cop. I'm not doing that at all.
Have you had ice cream with him?
Fuck yeah, I have. Fucking A, I have, right? Big whoop-de-doo, dude, right? It's not a fucking big deal. So when I got on drug court, too, like I got into drug court, and, man, I tripped out because the probation has changed in Nevada County, dude, and parole has changed in Nevada County. Like, when I first started getting in trouble, it was if you even stand next to somebody smoking weed, you're going to fucking jail or juvenile hall. You know what I mean? Like, you fart wrong, you're going to fucking jail or juvenile hall. That was my experience. You're going right now. I don't give a fuck. Oh, you fucking hung out with that dude? You're going to jail. Like, you know, it is not that way anymore. Like, I literally came into, and it took me a while to see it that way. It did. It took me, I've been to fucking lunches, dinners, fucking everything you can think of with probation and fucking people that I never thought I would be hanging out with. And it wasn't their fault. I've really realized, like, Jesus.
That's awesome.
Jesus, Tyler, like, what were you doing? Like, they were, and I'm sure they were trying to help me then too. You know what I mean? I just wasn't. So they just went to the straight, okay, well, then you can go to jail, right? And because my bullshit wasn't working, so to speak.
So you came to acceptance.
Oh my God, yes, dude.
Cool.
They've always been trying to help me, and I just didn't realize it. Like, you know what I mean? I just didn't get it.
Any of that shame and guilt in your childhood lead you to, looking back now, did it lead you to getting loaded or covering up your feelings? And
Oh, I'm sure it did. You know what I mean?
you're still prying that can open.
Probably. I haven't done anything with childhood. That's why I'm doing this. Like I'm telling you, that's
like I
the
was
biggest
saying.
reason for the therapy thing is like, because my wife, and it's just a couple friends that like, they're like, dude, you need to talk about shit that from when you were young. And I'm like, why? It don't hold no merit over my life. I don't think about that shit on a day to
It's
day.
still
And they've always said, okay, it may not hold any merit as far as how you, but your behaviors, dude.
Yeah. It still
You're
guides
fucking-
my actions today.
Exactly, right? And
I
I've
don't
never
even understand how.
I've never even given it a thought other than like a person told me a story of a certain way they acted in certain things they did, right? And I was like, and they're like, and this directly correlates to this event that happened in my life when I was this age. And I was like, really? But like, I wasn't even open-minded to look at that shit before.
But
like,
you are now. That's amazing.
But I was like, you know, well, yeah, because I got recovery and I'm still, like I'm telling you, the stealing thing, like I never fucking in 1,000 years, like we were just talking, me and the fucking dude, and he was like, well, like, you know, like when you were a kid, like just tell me about like a day-to-day basis. And I was like, oh, fuck, we'd go to the fucking, we'd go to the store and we'd try some of the candy. He's like, so you mean you steal it? That's what the dude said to me. He's like,
Yeah.
You and your dad would steal it. And I was like, no, like we would just, I said that to him. We would just test it. He goes, Tyler, that's stealing. Like, did you pay for it? He's like, the grapes you tested and the strawberries you tested did you guys pay for it? No. And he's like, all right. And then also like, you know, like as I was getting older, like sometimes I would be in the fucking stores and all of a sudden I'd just be in the back of the car with, where'd that toy come from? I got it in the store, but my dad, God damn it, fucking don't fucking do that. Fuck, you could get me in trouble.
Yeah.
My dad would say, but he would never take me back into the store to give the toy back. You know what I mean? Like that, like it all that, like I was like, huh, like, man, like this is important shit. Like and I didn't really realize how much merit and fucking weight it carried, dude. Like I really didn't.
So you're right at the beginning of opening up that whole.
Dude, I'm such a fucking infant.
Are you
infant.
excited to go through this?
I am, and at the same time, I'm like, fucking motherfucker, I don't want to do that. Like,
So when you have those feelings, what about?
do you know what I mean? I don't want to fucking do that.
What
What's
about
wrong
looking
with
at the end result? Like
Yeah.
big picture end result after this is all done.
I don't even know what that looks like
Yeah,
because I've never been a
but
person to look at the future like that. I just know it's something I need to address.
Like you can actually play the tape through.
Yeah.
Because you learned how to do that in the program. Like
He's even got a song about it.
I do.
yeah. So you know, for
I just
a
know
fact,
my behaviors and actions as of late in 3 years in recovery have been destroying my life is still unmanageable because of certain actions, behaviors, and the way that I talk, think, and act. And I'm just like, fuck, it's time to start doing something, dude.
So do you believe that the outcome of this therapy is going to be better for you?
I believe I will find peace. That's the hope. The
Okay.
goal is to find some peace.
So strive
Of
for
mind.
that. That's perfect.
Starting a new round of steps might be a good idea too.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah.
What are friends for?
Like
He's
a
all-
fresh round of steps with a.
I heard Josh. I know where we're going. I know.
No,
where
no,
we're
no,
going.
no, no. I'm not going there.
Yeah.
But somebody that doesn't just yeah or cosign, you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody that has time and you know. And I'm not saying that who you have or who you're working with now or who you have worked with in the past wasn't good for you or whatever.
Well, let's put it this way too, though. You gotta remember, it all does start with Tyler.
You.
It
Yeah,
does start with
exactly,
Tyler,
yeah.
and where I've gone is not very far. We've not gone very far into Tyler. We just never have.
It's a good place to be, like clean and realizing that you're still unmanageable and dysfunctional.
And like that's not good though.
Well,
it is. It's a great realization.
The recognition is the biggest part because then you're like, okay, now I know. Most
now
of us
I have to do something about it.
exactly. Most of us are going to go. I have to do something now because this isn't working, and that sounds like that's where you're at.
That's why I was like, fuck it, I'll do the therapy. And then, dude, I'm not lying. I could show you the text. I got so fucked. I was like, I told the dude, I was like, I'm just frustrated with this shit. And he was just like, I get it, man. Just hold on and we'll get this stuff going. Because he wants my Medi-Cal number. I'm like, I don't have a fucking Medi-Cal number. And Nikki's like, you do. I'm just waiting for the county. I'm like,
All right. Here's another question for you, and this is about like your relationships. Do you still get jealous or envious?
envious, yes. Not jealous, like as far as like with my intimate partner, no. That's never been a jam for me.
What about like
In the
other? You
past,
see
it
other
has been.
people, and you go, "Oh
But
man,
I see people with stuff, and I want stuff.
yeah."
But I'm like, how did you get that stuff? And they're like, hard work and hard this and that. I'm just like, nah, there's got to be an easier way. I think that, but there
I'll
is
just take
there
your
is
shit.
That easier way than
there's
a
the
Jew
envy
locked
of-
up.
There's the envy, exactly. That's and I don't want to be that. So, but like I struggle with the fuck. I gotta work really hard to get that, and I gotta
Yeah.
learn how to save. And
Yeah.
I guess there is jealousy then because I get jealous about people who are smart with money and who are fucking very financially smart and all that. And I could learn all that stuff, right? But it's like I just want it to fall into my fucking lap. Like one day it's just I got all this huge amount of money and I could tuck it away in certain places and
Do you want that part of your personality to change?
Yes.
I fucking struggle with the same thing, man. I really do. I think about it too. I don't want to. I suck at budgeting and finances and all that stuff, and I'm like, I'm just gonna. It'll just work itself out, and that's not the case.
Well, like, okay, so for instance, like when we're pulling up to Kevin's ranch here, right? Kevin's got stuff. Kevin's got a fucking cool little garden out
Do you
back.
want a goat? I'll give you a goat.
Yeah, you can give me a goat, but there's.
Or are you gonna keep it?
You want a fucking goat, homeboy? No. Let's put it this way though. I know for a fact that this shit didn't just happen overnight here. You didn't just fucking like. I mean, I've met you in my life, right? Like, and
Yeah.
it hasn't been super long that I've known you, but I'm almost positive you and your wife have worked as a unit and gone through some struggles and some things and some shit and have had your own stuff that has been like fuck, right?
Yeah.
But yet, what I see coming here and when I talk to you is usually you're pretty peaceful, you're pretty happy, you're pretty fucking like, and it's like, motherfucker, I want that now. I want all this just given to me. Like, you know what I mean? That's where my brain still goes. Like, I
pray and hope it doesn't take you 37 years
See?
to get here.
Right, and that's
I hope you
that
get
is
it
the
way
hope,
sooner
right?
than
Like,
that.
I hope I do too. But like, if it takes 37 years, guess what, Kevin? It takes fucking 37
Well,
years.
I say that from my own experience that it took me 30 plus years of being clean just to get to a point where I was willing to do trauma therapy.
See,
And you're doing it now?
well, yeah,
There's a whole lot of hope for you.
I'm tired of being a dick.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's not a race and everybody's, programs at the same, not at the same time.
And I know for a fact it's not a goddamn race, right? I'm excited about that. I'm just like, dude, I'm just realizing how fucking dangerous I am to myself. And I say that because that's like, fuck everybody else. Like, fucking yeah, I know I could hurt somebody or them, but fuck all that, right? I am a danger to me. First
Yeah.
and foremost, dude. Like, fuck, I don't want to be a danger to me, dude. Like, because if I'm a danger to me, that means I'm a danger to everybody, dude.
Well, the process of your change, Tyler.
And I'm telling you, that 4-year-old, bro, dude, that fucking small baby. I'm really glad that Peyton walked into my life. You know what I mean?
Crawled.
Yeah, whatever. But like, I just, and I never thought I would like a fucking human being as much as I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I do. And I'm not saying I'm changing for her. I want to change for me so that I could be better for her, you know? It's important.
So, do you still put your needs before her?
Yeah. I would love to tell you that's not a fucking thing,
No.
but I do.
But you are.
I mean, I
learning
get
to
her.
change that.
I do get her stuff she wants. You know what I mean? But that's not the same thing.
No.
it's not the fucking same thing. That does. I definitely put my feelings before the baby's, and I know that's wrong. That's another thing that like I know it's wrong. You know what I mean? I should definitely be way more considerate at cultivating
Listen,
these.
just like Josh said,
Yeah.
the realization that it's wrong is the beginning.
Yeah.
Now that you know,
Springboard.
you're gonna start not doing that.
You know what I mean? And
If you do the work.
Yeah, and then Nikki that does too, though, right? She. Actually, I'm not going to talk about Nikki.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm not going to do that. I just know that fucking I need to work on how I treat that small human.
There you go.
Fucking
A
great.
lot, dude.
All right, so we talked a lot about like character defects, and what about assets? I'll name one. You're extremely talented.
Well, thank you.
Determined.
Oh no, I have so many assets, dude. Okay, so
Are you cool with like?
oh yeah,
talking about your assets.
Absolutely. Fucking. So yes, one, I am funny, right? And I know that because I just know that I am. I'm fucking super funny. I know I do what I say when I say it. You know what I mean? Like that has been always.
That's a good trait.
It's
Very
always
good,
It's
dude.
always been a
Yep.
big thing. I am a quick learner, right? When I do get in there and I learn things, I am a quick learner. As long as it's something that I want to learn, right? Like I'm fucking like, oh, yeah, I like that. Fucking.
I can relate
My
to that.
dumbass drive,
Gratification,
though,
yeah.
like my drive, though, like it is an asset. But like when I get stuck on something,
Turns into obsession. It's unhealthy.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So like I got to keep that in check, right? But like I'm fuck, man. I do love big. I love big, right? Like I know that about myself, right? I
Yeah.
just got to turn that inward because like I'm telling you about this small baby, right?
Yeah.
I fucking love her to fucking death. That is one of my biggest assets right now is that small baby and the fact that how much I love her, right? But I just got to learn how to make that shit flourish in the right way to cultivate it right, and I'm not doing that right now. So
No, you are.
yeah, but okay. So what other assets? Let's talk about more stuff.
Honesty.
Oh yeah, fuck.
Yep.
But that's only because, dude, like, let's talk about honesty, right? Like, it's the easiest way to start working out things, right? Like, I've learned that. Like, if you're not, you're gonna fucking, dude, you're just gonna fucking bury yourself, dude.
Yeah. Honesty, I know you to be a very honest person, willing.
As of late, I haven't been.
Well, you talk about
Sounds like you have.
yeah,
Been.
you talk about all the things that you just haven't done or all the things you haven't changed and you just aren't willing to let go of, but how about all the things that you have? Cuz if you
stayed out of prison for 3 years.
you
so
stayed
yeah.
out of prison, you're clean. You've maintained like the relationship with Nikki, like you stuck by her through the pregnancy, you participated in your recovery. like you're active in the recovery community. Like there's a lot of things that you do that you don't touch on. You've just been this so far, like, and recently because of everything that's been showing up, what is accented the most is the shit that's causing harm directly in your life because of the defects and the shit that you need to work out in therapy or that you're hoping to work out in therapy. So your willingness, even though you say you haven't done these things, because you can tell how in the way that it's showing up in your life right now, there's so much shit that you have done and you have practiced the willingness to do. And even the ability and the willingness to look at, like, I'm causing harm right now.
Exactly.
I am causing harm right now. This is not okay.
Everywhere.
Yeah. I'm causing harm right now. That takes willingness. Like you have to be willing to look at it. And then you've gone to a couple therapy appointments. You're even talking about it right now.
Yeah.
When you cause harm, do you feel shame and guilt?
Yes.
Do you feel it in your gut, right?
Yes.
All right.
I know it to be.
How about at the meeting when you made the meeting unsafe?
I felt bad.
And you came in and you apologized at group level.
Yeah.
Like that takes willingness and honesty and humility and all those things. So like you practice these things and you understand these concepts. You just have right now there's a little bit of fucking mess going on. And it's confusing and overwhelming
And also, I not only do I want to have somewhere safe to go to with that, dude, I want somewhere, but I don't want to make some fucking newcomer, like, because there's going to be that one dude that goes like, yeah, that was badass. And it's like, no, it wasn't badass. That was not badass to do that here, dude. This is the fucking wrong. You know, there is those people that come to meetings, bro. And I don't want to show people that is okay to act that fucking way, because it's not. So it is not fucking okay to act that way, bro. Like, no matter how mad I get at some dumbass word, like, fucking stupid, dude.
I could totally see you sharing a meeting, you know, in the future going, yeah, I had caused harm in a meeting during the middle of the meeting. And I felt this and I changed it.
When I was a kid, right, there's these two people, these dudes, this guy Mike and this. I watched these motherfuckers get in a straight, full-on brawl in the middle of an AA meeting, and I was like, I don't know, 7. Like, whoa. And my dad and everybody breaking it up and just like, oh, God damn it. And they sat at this table that they called the bad boys table. And it was just a bunch of idiot dudes who, like, you know, but they all did the work. They were doing their work. But, I remember being fucking as a kid just being like, what the fuck is going on? Like, and I don't remember even what they got in a fight over. All I know is one dude threw his coffee cup at the other guy, and then they were fucking fighting. And they were beating the shit out of each other. And I was like, whoa, like.
So you know it's wrong, and
it was wrong then.
And
you know what I mean?
So you made amends, and now what I was saying is I could see you sharing about it in the future at group level, saying all I do now is I try to set a good example.
And that's important. I mean, that may be a thing that happens. I just know I want to do that.
Yeah, you did it at that meeting. Yeah. You set an example at that meeting because we're all human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Determination is another asset you have.
Yeah, like I'll agree with that one because I get determined to get that rap done. You know what I'm talking about? So stupid.
Creativity.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I know those are like the talent, like undeniable, but so stupid. But
outgoing.
I've always had that cultivated though, like through my family, like with writing and with ever since I was my dad bought me my first beat machine, dude, when I was 12. So I mean, like it was, you know, a karaoke machine and a beat machine, and they always knew I liked rapping and entertain. That was always cultivated pretty well. So I like, and I'm not trying to dismiss it, but I mean at the same time, I just knew. I knew that was that love was always like, oh, he's creative, like, you know what I mean, drawing, right? Like, I'm not a great drawer, but I used to do that shit all the time, and I always got a lot of kudos and accolades and love that way. So like,
but you know,
I've always been told by my grandma to follow my passions and fucking, you know, you got to have a 6-letter word called desire, like, you know, like. And I am so appreciative of that shit, and I know those are assets. That's why I continue to do them to this day. But as far as living, like I'm talking living on a day-to-day basis, I don't even know how to identify them because most of the time I'm in this place of selfishness and I'm just upset and I'm fucking pissed off and I choose to be ungrateful, and it's cancer.
It's all a process.
Yeah, it's cancer, and I know it's cancer, and I don't want to think that way. You know what I mean?
Look at your life
phase,
right now
bro.
today. Three years later.
Yeah.
Look at your life right now
Dude.
today compared to the first day.
Exceptionally better, dude.
Yeah.
It's a phase.
Yeah.
Exceptionally better. And the people that have showed up for me, and like, I just don't want to let people down, dude. Like, I just and not to say that's what drives me to do it. It's just like, fuck, man. It's important to be somebody that can be looked at as in my life right now. Because like I've trust me, I've had a lot of people say a lot of negative things about me, and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And now I hear good things. Like, I hear people say good things about me, and I'm like, tight. You know what I mean? And then I go home though, and like I'll take like getting back to that. Like, and I hate to make it sound like let's just beat Tyler up right now, but like I take the mask off, and it's just like, fuck, I want to be the guy that they all think I am out there, and I want to be the guy that my dog thinks I am. That old saying, right? Fucking.
Well, you said it yourself earlier. Is you got to learn to love yourself.
And and I struggle with that. Like, I do struggle with that sometimes.
Yeah, a lifetime of people telling us that we're no good, never going to lead to nothing, we're a piece of shit. That'll do it to us. Gets filed in that filing cabinet in the back of our brain, and we have a hard time getting rid of that.
You know what I used to hear a lot growing up too? I don't know if you guys are like, dude, my grandma, and I mean, all the way from school, you're smarter than this, dude.
Yeah.
You're smarter than this. I've heard that so much in my life, dude.
Tyler, only if you applied yourself.
And then, that too, right? Only if you. And then, like, one day I was sitting there, I was like, dude, I am smarter than this. Like, I fucking am smarter than this. What am I doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just. And it started with that lady. It started with a lawyer, bro. You have been a disappointment to yourself your whole life, Mr. Olam. It's right here on paper. And it's like, what are you talking about? You don't know shit other than what you're reading right there, dude. Like, but that was the truth.
Yeah. That talent, though, let's talk about that. Your music career.
And what about it? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, I know you've been, doing this for a long time. And so you're making a pretty good stab at it today.
Oh yeah, I can't.
Has
I can't
being
leave
clean.
it alone.
Yeah, has being
clean
clean.
has elevated it.
There.
Completely
How?
elevated it. How? Because I don't want to. I don't know. When I was loaded doing it, dude, it's just like, don't get me wrong, I knew I was good then, right? Being loaded and doing it. But like, I feel like more or less it was just like kind of a party favor at that point.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's the guy who can come in here and rap and shit, and we're all loaded and but like when you're all fucked up, you ain't really. I don't know. I was doing music, but I wasn't really doing music. I was just fucking flowing and shit, But I was good at it. I fucking knew I was good
So
at
you
it.
got clean, and then.
But like when I would go to jail, right? I would go to jail. Like there was this song I wrote to my son. For 22 years, I walked God's green earth. The most beautiful thing I experienced was the day of my son's birth. I was overwhelmed with joy, blessed with a healthy baby boy. Never ever didn't think my life would come to this point. I'm still unemployed with no way to take care of my son. Like, I wrote this whole fucking song, and it was the first time that I had wrote. There wasn't like how we were talking about. There was nothing about it about bars. There was nothing about it about fucking. I'm the best rapper. I literally was just writing, and it was right then and there. I was like, whoa, I'm really fucking good at this. And this is about life, like this. And then it got convoluted again, and it fucking, but like, I knew right then and there, I was separate from, like, I am not the same as other people with this shit. Cause like a lot of people are rappers. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people want to be rappers. You know what I mean? So I knew then, sitting in jail.
You found the true art form of
Oh my
self-expression.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just know that I was writing, and it was coming out of me, and I still remember that rap to
your
this
life.
day. And it was my life. It's exactly how I felt. And I was like, that felt so good to do that. Right. And
It's amazing.
And,
Nothing compares to it.
I don't know if that many people, I mean, I know there's a lot of people who write, right? And it's all great, grand, and wonderful that you write, but like, there's a certain way that he does it, and there's a certain way that I do it, and there's a certain way I've seen people that are famous that do it, right? But it's like and I'm not trying to say that I'm going to be famous from it. what I'm saying is it's like I know how to do it, if not better than them or just as good as them. I stand with them in this fucking art form, right? And then there's just some people that are super exceptional at it. You know what I mean? You got your Eminems and your people that are just super exceptional at it. But like for me, I don't give a fuck about that. Like it's the only place that I've ever found where I'm like, oh, this is nice, dude. And I will sit there over it, over.
So for our listeners, this is Tyler and Josh's M4W moving forward music.
Yeah. We're pretty good.
So I know from talking with Josh, when he writes, it's a form of therapy for him. You know, he gets to get a release out of it when he writes. Is that similar for you?
Okay, so I mean, I don't know how Josh's exact process happens. I just know, hey, look, like, so I wrote this song a little while back, right? Which is, it's something I've been obsessing on. And I've got it down, not down to where I remember it, but I'm just like, ooh, that's good, right? Like, but for me, it comes out of nowhere. I'll literally just be fucking sitting there and like, I swear to God, it's like otherworldly. I don't know how else to explain it other than
Higher power.
why. Sure. It's just, and I can't leave it alone. Like my brain won't shut off. It's just like, and it feels like it comes from somewhere else. I don't know.
Channeling, dude.
You could call it that. I don't know, dude. Like, but like, I'm not.
Do you have to know?
I'm not. No, I don't. And that's
Good.
what the fucking best thing. And it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And then it's all of a sudden you're like, where'd it go?
Yeah, there
Hey,
you are. I guess I'm done.
I'll get to this point where I'm like, where did it go? And then I'll go back over the whole thing and I'll be like, oh shit, that's done. Like,
That's a cool process.
it's fucking Kevin. It's weird. I get so excited about it, and you know, the only people that I could really call, like, I've tried to call people who have, you know, said that they're invested like that, right? And like, you call them and you're like, listen to this, dude, and then they listen to it and they go, yeah, that's pretty cool. And I'm like, you're not the fucking person that I need to talk to about this. I'm talking every time I've ever called. There was only one other person that I've ever been able to call and do that. And his name was Pete, and he is not here. He is dead. Every time me and Josh, he'll read a rap to me. And if I don't hear a fucking, or ooh, or a fuck, you ain't listening to me, dude. You have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about right now. You don't even understand the feeling that's going on with this, right? Every time, dude, I rap a rap to him, and he, whether we're on the phone or in person, he's like, like, same thing with him. When he raps something to me, it's, you know that came from another fucking place. And I don't know how to explain it other than, and that's always been cultivated in me since I was young. You know what I mean? Like my grandma has, and I love my grandma, but she's like, you know, Tyler, people don't know about you. Like she's been telling me, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like I've always thought that, right? And she goes, you just have that 6-letter word. It's called desire. She would say it to me all the fucking time, dude. I'd be like, I don't know what that means, Grandma, but she would tell me ever since she's like, there's something special about you, and I'm not. Yeah, there is, Grandma. but,
Yeah, fuck yeah, thanks. Tell me that again.
But
Yeah.
like, I don't know. And then there's certain people that I run into that tell me that same thing. There's something different about you, and like, sure, I hear that all the time. And now that we have these fucking phones, we get like you hear that about a lot of people, right? Like, so it can.
Yeah.
But dude, I could tell you from my own personal experience of sitting there. I'm literally just like, we could be driving, and all of a sudden, lyrics just come. I'm tired, and it's like, I'm not thinking about it. I don't know how else to explain it, Kevin. Other than
Is the same process when you're loaded?
No, I'm forcing it when I'm loaded, because I'm thinking you want to hear about getting loaded, and I'm thinking it was nowhere near the fucking same process.
So you have concrete proof
For
that
myself.
staying clean is an asset for you.
Oh my God.
Would you ever think about, like, if you ever got loaded ever again, your career?
You would not hear me rapping.
Yeah, your career
You'd
would
hear me
go.
rapping to some fucking tweaker somewhere being like, yeah, I do that too. And don't get me wrong, when like meth has done that for me before, but it's always like that. I haven't done meth for fucking a year or two, and fucking take a hit. And for some reason I don't know, I've been able, blah, 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 everything that comes, Josh knows what I'm talking about. You just blah, 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 and all the words rhyme, but it's just words.
Yeah,
But
you hear it a lot.
It's just fucking words, dude. But I mean, they're good. I'm not trying to say it's not good. It's usually good. But I'll never use it. I'll never remember it. I don't fucking know where it's coming from. But like,
Meth. When I was high on meth, when I was getting loaded,
It's meth, Tyler.
my whole walls were all covered in tattoo flash. And when I got clean, I didn't draw a thing. Like I had no desire to draw. Tweaking, that's all I did. 24 hours.
Like I have this whole, and Josh told me he had one too. The whole notebook from prison. You know what I mean? I do, and I still have it, right? And there's like I've gone over some of the stuff, and some of it's good, some of it's fucking whatever. But he was like, I threw all that shit away, right? And I have an attachment still to it because I just do, right? But there's nothing in there that I could really use. You know what I mean? There's just not.
It sounds like there's a small part of your past that you're still clinging to.
Oh, there's a huge part that.
It's a blanket.
I can't.
blanket.
Yeah, I
It's a
can't
blanket, dude.
wait for the day that you get rid of that or don't have a desire to keep that stuff. I had that conversation with a friend years
Whole
ago.
life's gonna change, dude.
Yeah, no, he had a tattoo on him.
Yeah.
And he was going to get an operation done, and his tattoo was political. And
They're gonna cut into his tattoo.
no, the nurse was black, and she asked, "Why do you wear that?" And he goes, I have it on me in case I need it again. And I'm like, what? Why? Why would you even consider that? You're clean.
You don't act like that anymore.
That's
Yeah.
a reservation. That's a reservation.
Going back to prison.
That's just in case, he said. And I'm like, you're going to get loaded. He's dead.
Is he dead?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kevin.
Yeah. Shit happens like that.
Yeah.
It's all funny until it's not.
It's not funny.
Yeah. And so that stuff changes our life. And I could tell that you're in the process of that. So that's very cool.
Fuck yeah, it is.
I think I'm excited for you. I really am, Tyler. I'm excited for you.
Well, thank you, Kevin.
Yeah. This is going to be a great journey to watch.
I hope so.
It already has been.
It's been a weird
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, you see him more than I do.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
And now he lives in so we were driving. I was like, man, it's like our periods are synchronized. Anyway, so last night,
You guys are fucked up.
so dumb. Hey, so dumb. Look, so we're driving,
dumb.
me and my wife, because it is kind of dumb. The fucking
It
world.
is.
It's an energy thing.
But like, so we left Burgers and Cream, and like at first I thought, okay, I was like, what's he talking about? He wasn't following us from fucking Auburn, right? Because I pulled up at Burgers and Cream in Auburn. And I was like, there's too many people here. I'm going to Burgers and Cream in Grass Valley. And Josh was like, okay, hey, order me a burger. And I was like, yeah, I'll get you a burger. So then fucking we got a burger and we ate, we did all that thing. And then like I pull out and I'm driving and I'm coming under the bridge right there by the fairgrounds. Like here's El Favorito. There's this like little bargain bar.
All right.
place.
Dude, that's right where it hit me too.
And I got super close to the steering wheel and I was
Bro.
like, and I looked at my girl and I said, I fucking love my town. That's what I said, right? And she goes, well, baby, you got it tattooed all over your body. And I was like, yeah, but I fucking love this fucking place, dude. Like, I was like, I love Grass Valley. So
Okay,
Josh,
sir.
we're pulling in here, right? And Josh is like, dude, last night when I was following you guys at Burgers and Cream, I was like right behind you guys, dude. And I was just like, man, I just realized I love Grass Valley. And I was like, that's so fucking weird.
At the
You
same
said-
place.
Yeah, it's so weird. you
Underneath
said
the
that.
bridge, I'm like, God, I'm fucking glad I'm here, dude. Thank God I'm
Okay.
here. This is
We
so
were literally
good.
on the same, and I was like, "You really thought?" I was like, "That's fucking crazy." I said this that I had to call Nikki. I was like, "Dude, this fucking
Energy,
dude had the
dude.
same thought I had."
That's hilarious.
That's a higher power.
It is kind of hilarious, but like I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, and she was like, "Well, baby, you got it tattooed all over." I was like, "I know, but I just fucking love it here."
I think to me, it is my higher power letting me know that I'm in the right place.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
what it
that-
is. That's what it is for me. It's like the same thing. I correlated to the same part of my thought process as like a deja vu. Like it's a checkpoint. Like you're right on time right now,
Bro,
Like,
when I was younger, I hated it.
me too.
I fucking hated it.
If you would've
I
asked
have-
me 3 years
I
ago, I would've been, I'll
no
never live
idea-
there.
I have no idea why.
So
I
check
did.
this out. This is where I'm at when you guys tell me that story, and we'll talk about it. The 2-foot drop.
Yeah.
The 2-foot drop.
2-foot drop meeting coming soon.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, good for you guys.
gonna
So
be a
the
secretary.
point is that when you like got to that place in your town and you had that feeling, like
That's the
God,
2-foot drop?
Yeah, that's like you were thinking about a lot of things, and then when you reach that point where you're getting to Grass Valley,
feel.
you felt that.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I feel it every time I come in. Like if we're gone, and like today, we're gonna be gone. We're gonna be doing stuff, and as soon as I see the Bethel Church coming on 49, it'll be the Golden Chain, then it'll be the Bethel Church.
So you feel
every time, dude. I'm like,
yeah,
that's nice.
So does it feel like safe?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, can I say something to you? Now, check this out. When I was
you
younger,
can say anything to me.
No, look, check this out. When I was younger, my dad and my mom. So I would talk about how I hate Grass Valley, this, that, and the third. Yet when we would be coming into Grass Valley, right? Hey, let me use your phone. Fucking hey, let me. And my dad would say the same thing every time. And that's why I hate coming here, son. And I'd be like, why? And he goes, because as soon as we pull into Grass Valley, you become tie stick. He's all, every time we're in, and I'm saying we moved all over when I was younger, right? But like Marysville, Yuba City, Redwood City, fucking Menlo Park, we went.
Right.
He's like, that's when you're Tyler. He's like, but as soon as we pull in, it doesn't matter what direction we're coming from, son. Fucking tie stick. All of a sudden, you're fucking tie stick.
That doesn't apply today, though.
Absolutely not. And I've made it a point. Like, I don't like it when people call me tie stick now. But Josh will be like, stick, what up, fool? Like, and that's fine. He's my friend, right? But like, most of the time when I run into people from my past, right? Like, that's what they are. They're tweaking ass, tie stick. Hey, what up, dude? And like, but I've managed to fucking like, I'm M4W. I'm Tyler Olam.
Tyler Olam.
That is who I am, right? And Josh Bedart and Tyler Olam of M4W. And people struggle with that. And now you're tie stick full. Like, you'll see it on comments. That's the tie stick I know. Nah, that is fucking nowhere near him.
Nice.
That is nowhere near the dude that was fucking, my mind's abnormal, dressing semi-formal, looking for a bitch that gives up the oral. Get the fuck out of here. It's none of that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no tie stick involved in it. And I'm telling you, okay, so that rap that I was just doing a little bit ago, the one about my kid.
Yeah.
That's Tyler Olam.
Bro, for 22 years, I've walked God's green earth. The most beautiful thing I experienced was the day. That was the first hint of it, and I had no idea really until right now, just talking about that with you guys. But I mean, like, that was the first fucking rap I think I've ever wrote as Tyler Olam, dude.
Yeah.
Because I didn't make one I think I did, actually. I think I said something about tie stick in it, but
You can still make references and it still be a true form of expression of self.
yeah. And
We can talk about the past. They're just facts.
And then there was another guy I tried to be, which was stupid, was this guy named Sarge, which is dumb. Because that's what people call me in prison, Sarge. Hey, Sarge. And fucking, I tried to come home from prison and tell people my name's not tie stick anymore. They're like, well, what is your name? I was like,
Sarge.
Yeah, Sarge. And like, if you haven't been in prison with me, then fucking, why would you call me that, right? Like, I literally had someone like, dude, you're Tyler. You're tie stick. What the fuck are you talking about?
So none of that stuff is a part of you today.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
Fuck
Times are changing.
Dude.
Times
Fuck
are changing. So we'll just wrap this up with
All right.
one last question.
All right.
What's your hopes for the future?
My hopes for the future, a white picket fence and a dog, and honestly,
I'll give you a goat.
no, I thank you. The goat would be dope. Seriously, my hopes for the future are to make this relationship that I am in, because I talk a lot of shit about this relationship I'm in, right, with my wife. It goes back and forth. I just want to. It's the woman I want to be with,
Right.
and I want it to be peaceful. I want it to
Nice.
be peaceful, and I want to raise these two kids different than I was raised.
That
Is the
That's pretty
utmost
tight.
Yeah, no, that's what I've
important
learned.
fucking Thing for
You
me.
remember that came up when we were doing the podcast with Jim, right? I was taught to treat my children the way I wish I was treated as a kid.
You know, and that's why I'm having these struggles right now, because I'm like, man, I got this one on the way, and the last thing I want him hearing from the time he was an infant is motherfucker, bapa, bapa. And I struggle with that every day right now. And I'm like, he's fucking about to be here. And you know what I mean? He's about to
you're
be
making
here
changes,
shortly.
Tyler. You're doing you're doing the hard work.
You know what I
And
mean?
all you can do is the best you can do.
You know what I mean? Like, I see myself, I want Peyton and the baby, once he's, but I want to get them in, like, martial arts, shit that's going to, not for the fighting aspect. I want them for the discipline, the fucking the shit that I know
You
that I
want to do
needed.
normal people, father, son, daughter, shit. Yeah.
I want, and I want to get them like while the getting is good now, so
Yeah.
that way they have some type of because right now Peyton wants to be a cop. She wants, and like if she would have said that to me
3 years ago.
it would have not have been a good thing. And do you know what I tell her now when she says that? Because I asked her, well, why do you want to be a cop, right? And her foster parents, like I said, are a cop. And she said, because Daddy Dennis works for search and rescue, and that means that he goes out and he looks for people and finds them and makes sure they can get home
And
safely.
saves them.
And dude, it's going to make me cry right now. Anyway, I was like, damn, like she has no idea what this dude's really going through, the stress of the job or any of that shit, like having to fucking get these, like you don't even really know. All she sees is that this dude goes out
Simple
there
dream.
and makes sure that people get home safely.
It's a
And
hero.
I'm like, it's a real life hero, right? And I was just like, well, goddamn, like, you know what I mean? And so anytime she talks to me about cop stuff, I'm like, yeah, baby, fucking cops. Like, right on, you know what I mean? I don't try to diminish that at all,
That's
dude.
awesome.
And if, say, fucking Aries, when he comes here, I don't want to be a cop. Cool, dude, fucking be a cop. You know what I mean? Fucking, because at the end of the day, like, that's what it
That's
says.
the name of his son. He's going to name his son Aries.
Yeah.
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 God.
Aries what?
Aries Riker. Aries Riker Ullum.
R-Y.
R-Y, yes.
Not
like,
R-I. Not like Rikers Island.
okay, so there it is. I'll let her know that it is different then. I feel like I should call her and tell her, because I always say that's all I think about when I think of Rikers.
Her and I had a conversation last night. I already know. I told her. She said Riker, and I go, that's the first thing I thought of was Rikers Island.
Me too.
Dude. And hey, I was like, baby, that's all anybody that has been in. She's like, well, not everybody's been incarcerated. And I was like, oh, I don't even know where.
People that we know
said,
do.
She said it's a Viking name. And I was like, okay.
What is?
How you going to spell it?
R-Y, I think. I believe it's
And
R-Y.
Rikers is with Rikers Island is with an I.
I
Yeah.
guess I didn't know
It
that.
is.
I
Yeah.
thought Rikers Island was R-Y.
No.
But that's because I've never been there though.
Aries Riker. That's a pretty dope name, dude.
It is. All right. Well, good. I'm glad that we had you on today. This was
Thank you, Kevin.
this was pretty awesome. Had a good time, and I look forward to more M4W music. That's for sure.
Oh, dude, I got a good one coming, dude.
Right on.
I actually have 3 good ones coming, dude.
We got a whole.
We got a lot of music, but I'm saying
we have 2 projects that are they're just nobody's heard them yet.
yeah.
Well,
That's
when they
good.
get
Hey, that makes me
published,
feel
we'll
happy.
you know what? We'll have to have you back on. In like a year or so.
Okay.
Get some progress.
What's today? What is today? The 15th of October. So the 15th. You want to shoot for that tentatively
Yeah,
next year?
let's do it.
Okay.
1 year from today, you're going to be cured
Yeah,
from
fuck
all
yeah.
all your
That'll be good. The
disability.
follow up, dude, to see where all this
Yeah.
is a year from now.
I'm actually going to put it in my calendar. Right
Nice. All right. Thanks everybody for coming out, and I hope you enjoyed the podcast.
Yeah, love you guys.
Love, 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 love.